What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome to the RNEWS morning show. And let's just jump into it. From r/news. Ghislane Maxwell, longtime friend and confidant of Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested by the FBI and charged by federal prosecutors. I'm actually surprised she's been arrested in the US. I thought she'd be anywhere but here in order to avoid jail time. She's been photographed chilling in California a few times since 2018. There were pictures of her in France. France doesn't extradite French-born citizens. Why the frick did she come to the US of places? She made a deal, otherwise she never would have left France. Now, they just had to keep her alive long enough to see it through. Notice how quickly this happened after Jeffrey Berman was fired. She was easy to find in the US. She was the only one trying to cover her face with a mask. Because people never learned the most basic of preschool instructions: be nice. Let me say it now, Ghislane Maxwell didn't kill herself. LMAO, we need to start Ghislane Maxwell didn't kill herself memes and start circulating them. Before she dies, it'll make it so obvious. Akbar would like to know your location. I'll say it with you. Ghislane Maxwell didn't kill herself. Ghislane Maxwell didn't kill herself. Good. How long until she suicided? Committed suicide by stuffing camera into own neck. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Oregon Governor Kate Brown will declare emergency, ready National Guard ahead of election. I can't believe it has gotten this bad. Portland is a powder keg. The rest of the state, not so much. Why is Portland so volatile? Is there something unique about it? Portland is a very liberal city center surrounded by very conservative rural areas. They also have a police department that is rife with history of white supremacy. The last time I saw a Confederate flag was driving through Oregon on the way to Portland. Usually paired with thin blue line flags. And don't tread on me flags. That combination always puzzles me since the two concepts are complete opposites. The Gadsden flag is literally a symbol against government oppression and use of force against people who are protesting for civil liberties. This is a more fitting flag for anyone who displays thin blue line stuff. I saw a Confederate flag on a truck Saturday and I was in Portland. Absolutely sickening. Edit. Yes, I have the common logic to know that it's worse in the South, where many states were actually part of the Confederacy. Thank you for your lovely input. S. Anyone flying a Confederate flag in the South is probably racist. Anyone flying a Confederate flag outside of the South is definitely racist. And a very bad transient problem. Bad transient problem, what does that mean? They got mad hobos. Why are they so angry though? That's the real question we need to be asking ourselves. Everyone always says, hobo. No one ever asks, how though? You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics. Trump supporters that harassed Biden but were armed. Operation organized in private Facebook group linked to QAnon. Starting today, we will remove Facebook pages, groups and Instagram accounts for representing QAnon. We're starting to enforce this updated policy today and are removing content accordingly. But this work will take time and will continue in the coming days and weeks, Facebook wrote in a press release. I reported a metric crap ton of them through watching crap my own family was sharing. Some went away, many did not, or they just removed the obvious markings of the Q movement. The WWG1WGA crap is still all over the place. That isn't on their radar from what I can tell. But yeah, frick Zuckerberg and Facebook, it is a toxic cesspool of trash the last couple of years. You know, under any other president, a group of armed people surrounding a campaign bus would be kind of a big deal. Especially if Harris was on board. From what I read, it blows my mind that people act like she's not a sitting US senator. She was not, but those terrorists sure did think she was. These kinds of things make me wish people were charged for crimes based on their intent. A man shoots and strangles a woman until he thinks she's dead. Fortunately she survives. He should be charged with murder, not attempted murder. His intent was to kill her. He should not get a break just because he failed. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Bail for Kyle Rittenhouse set at $2 million in Kenosha protest shooting. Cash bail should be eliminated. Money should not be the deciding factor for whether or not someone has to await trial in jail. It should be based on your flight risk and risk to the community. Agreed. This was one of the measures on California's ballot this year. GoFundMe, and that'll be sorted in a weekend. Pretty sure GoFundMe barred fundraising for Kyle. That's in the California ballot this year. It replaces cash bail with flight risk checks and public safety assessments, said it. Guys, please. I was just stating a fact. And the proposition is a step in the right direction to get a little more equality in the justice system, and it will reduce prison costs by reducing the number of people sitting in jail because of a $1,500 bail they can't afford. It has the same problems as the rest of the US justice system. But it's something that will help people. I'll take the win. So, .eu suggesting we regulate private companies. Seems kinda socialist, Imo. Watched people crowdfund to get to him out. Same people who would want a death sentence for another. America, what doing? I'm sure Donald will post that, right? He promised at the rally he would pay legal bills, and we know he is always honest. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, report: Trump is terrified about going to prison after losing the election, as he should be. I think Trump going to jail in the near future is the happy ending we need for this story. If Trump doesn't go to jail, US justice system has failed even more than it's failed now. I totally agree with you. We will never heal nor trust our government again if Trump and his accomplices are not held responsible for their crimes. I'm terrified that he won't be held accountable in any way, shape or form. I hope his fears come true, not mine. Yup, this is my biggest fear. That we'll stick with the standard of moving on, when this is some crap that needs to be prosecuted. Imagine how much more emboldened they'll be if Trump loses the election and evades justice. Well, prison will be the chance to make history once for him. The first president to go to prison after term. Frick prayer, vote, and bring friends with you. Edit. Don't pay to gild me. Throw that cash at a cab to get someone with a heart but no ride to the polls. Lifelong criminal chases the world's highest visibility job. And gets it. Talk about a dumb move. Orange is a new orange. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Letterman says a Trump loss would be a relief to every living being in this country. As a Canadian, I've been anxious for my neighbors to the south for weeks. We're worried about you. Edit. Thank you, kind strangers, for my first awards on Reddit. Edit. Gold and silver. This gal is blushing. You folks have made my day. Edit. Corrected fist award to first, lol. You guys are like the family renting the apartment above the meth lab. As a Canadian, I've been non-stop worried and obsessed with US politics for the last 4 years. I'm so tired of being angry all the time about what Trump gets away with. We are trying, but when you live in a state that's always blue, there's not much else we can but sit and watch the middle of the country decide my future. It's like taking a huge parasite out of your body. Flush the turd on the third. Well, not Ted Cruz. Granted, although he's a living being, he doesn't appear to be human. My foster dog gets extra treats if Biden wins. Make it happen. Go on to weed. I've worn a beard for almost 3 decades, and this is the first I've heard of this gem. My very tolerant and accepting wife is going to love it, too. I've also turned to weed due to Trump. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like. And if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show, and I'll see you tomorrow.